stopping the air raid offense. Stay tuned. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Air Raid Nation, your home on the internet for the air raid offense. This is Coach Coltharp coming back to you today. We got a great video today. We're going to talk about the 5 keys to stopping the air raid offense. I know I probably shouldn't share these, but it's stuff is really good and it applies to a lot of different things. So stay tuned to that part here in a second, man. Before we jump into that, I wanted to say thank you, guys. You smashed it on our last video, our 5 basic plays for any air raid offense video. Really excited. If you haven't seen that, I'll put a link to it in the description. Also, man, if these are the kind of videos you like, these 5 keys and 5 basic plays and all the stuff that we've been doing lately, man, make sure you like the video, comment down below what you like about the videos or what you don't like, and make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit that button so when we go live, you get all of our content. We just got put off again indefinitely for summer workouts, so we'll be making some more videos. Stay tuned to the end of the video, man. I got a big announcement I think you guys are going to be excited about. But without further ado, let's jump into the video. All right, guys, so here we are over in the presentation, and I thought I would talk to you a little bit today about ways to stop the air raid. I know a lot of people, they ask me all these kind of questions, and I kind of thought about what are the questions I'm asked often when people tweet me on Twitter at Coach Coltharp or hit me up on the Air Raid Nation in the Facebook channel, Facebook group or whatever, and these are things that I'm asked often. It's like, hey, how do you signal this, or how do you signal this play in, or how do you signal your formations and things like that? I get asked that all the time. Can't you run this play by doing this and this and this and changing that and doing this and all these kind of things? And so I get that a lot, and which is, that's cool. It's banter. I like banter, talking about ball. Me and Coach Vaught we were doing that the other day. He put some gif up of air raid O-line goal line offense or something, and he's like, and it was something crazy, and I was like, well, that's because we usually score from the 25 when y'all are running fullback trap. But anyway, I always get asked, hey, why does Y have to be on the ball? And he doesn't, but he does for me. Can't I just add the key air raid plays to my offense I'm running? That's one of my favorite ones. And we all know the answer to that. If you haven't, check out all the other videos and you'll understand that air raid is more like a system. It's not an offense per se. It's a lifestyle. It's an attitude. Here's a good one. I got asked this one the other day because, I always talk about Y being 4 yards from the tackle. They say, well, what's Z and X's alignment? And, and that changes. It could be top of the numbers, middle of the numbers, bottom of the numbers, depending on what concept they are, what kind of release you're using and things like that. So there's really no definite for them on that deal. And here's my all-time favorite one. Coach, what does 92 mean? And, because people just want the numbering system to the air raid to mean something. Like, is it the 9 route or the 2 route, or, is 9 this concept too? I mean, they ask me that all the time. And, and it's just like, one thing about Coach Mummy, I will say this. If Coach Mummy learns something from you, he's going to call it what you taught him. So if you say, hey, yo, Coach Mummy, this is the ice cream sandwich play. If he likes it and he puts it in, you'll hear him say blue flip ice cream sandwich. I mean, he's not going to change the name of it. He's going to call it the way he learns it. And I think he does it just to kind of pay homage to the people he does, who taught him some things. Like Surge Screen is a great example for that. So I get asked these kind of questions all the time. And you're like, Coach, why are you talking like this? This is a how to stop the air raid offense video. Trust me, man. Stick with me for a second. I'll show you where I'm going with this. All right, so here it is. These are the questions I'm almost never asked. What hurts you the most? Great offensive coaches have to have a great knowledge of defense and how DCs think. Okay, so if you're an offensive guy and you've bought our courses and done air raid cert and all sorts of stuff, first of all, thank you for doing that. We have a special. I'll put it down in the description if you guys want that. I know, shameless plug, but it is what it is. But you got to understand defense to be a really great offensive coach. So if you're an offensive guy and you don't understand how defenses work, then you're not going to be very successful unless you just have better players than everybody else. Players trump everything. We'll talk about that in a minute. Okay. So do you sit down with your defensive guys and talk shop? Like when they're talking defense and you really don't have a whole lot to do, are you sitting down talking with them and listening and learning those kind of things? Those of you guys who want to be a head coach, and those of you who do want to be a head coach, you want to stay tuned to the end of the video because I got a big announcement. But those of you guys who want to be a head coach, man, you can't just know one side of the ball. You have to understand offense. You have to understand defense. You have to understand special teams. If you're going to be the head coach, that means you're in charge of everything. And more importantly, you're responsible for everything. So if you don't understand defense and you're trusting somebody to do that for you and they're not doing a great job, they're not going to get fired. They're going to get you before they get him. Okay, unless you're at the college level and stuff like that, but that's a whole nother conversation. But, you just know that you have to do these kind of things. The best offensive coach I ever worked for or worked with was my defensive coordinator when I got my first job. He taught me more about basic offense than anybody. It was just like, I would call a play and really not be specific as to like, okay, he'd be like, why are you running it that way? I was like, why? He's like, well, the overhang is over there. There's no overhang on the other side. Why are you not running it that way? And I don't know. I wanted to run it to the wide side of the field. I wasn't counting boxes and looking at people. I was a young coach who thought I knew everything because I saw it on paper. But he really, really taught me how to call plays and look at those kind of things. And John Grady was just phenomenal with that. And so you have to really, really, really understand defense if you're going to be a good offensive coach. So that's why we're going to talk about what are the keys to stopping the air raid. So here are my 5 keys today. All right. So it's not as groundbreaking idea as you might think. Okay, it's not going to be, oh my God, coach told you this, because it's going to be pretty commonsensical when you look at it and be like, well, yeah, that makes sense. But hey, listen, before we get into all this list and stuff, know this: if you got better players, you're going to win. Okay, and Ruffin McNeil used to say this all the time. It's never about calls; it's always about kids. And or you've heard Jimmys and Joes or Trump X's and O's. It's always going to be that way. If you got better players, you're going to win regardless. All right. But you got to do this before you get into start breaking down air raid teams. What kind of air raid team are you facing? Is it a pure tempo team? It's just going to play fast no matter what. They're just singling in. They're going as fast as they can. They don't really change a lot of personnel, things like that. Is it a check with me system? Are they getting up there and then the guy stopping, looking over to the sideline, getting the signal from the coach? Those kind of things. Or one of the deals where the quarterback has a little bit of freedom to check from this play to that play, that's kind of important. And then what kind of personnel are you looking at? Is it a 20 personnel air raid team, 11 personnel, does it have a lot of tight end, or is it pure 10 personnel? Okay, so, know those kind of things as you're going in, because it really changes your decisions. Okay, so the first thing, and this I'm telling you right now, is the biggest mistake people make when they play air raid coaches, and air raid coaches just love it, is when you go into a game and you're not true to yourself. And coach, what do you mean by that? I mean, I'm always that guy. Nah, man. Why would you go play a team with a defense of the weak mentality? Okay, I can tell you right now, it used to happen to us all the time, man. We'd see a team, they'd be a 4-man front, 6-man box, 7-man box team, and then all of a sudden they come up on Friday night and they're in a 3-4, and they don't know how to play the 3-4. They hadn't played it all year, So we got this great idea. We're gonna do this, and you practiced it for 3 days. Okay, so you're gonna go play a team with something that you practiced for 3 days against a team whose major philosophy is the magic rep. Not good, guys. Not good. Okay, you can't do it. Your defensive system needs to have rules that address specific things and then stick to them. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I can't stand it when defensive coaches at practice will look at kids and say this statement right here. Well, look, I know we've always done it like this, but this week we're going to do it like that. That kid is now confused. And a confused defensive player is going to line up wrong. He's not going to run to the football, and he's going to make mistakes. You can't do that. Build your systems as such that you have answers to questions you're going to be asked. Okay, look, why are you running the Iowa 3 safety defense when your entire conference is, a wing T team? So, you got 5 DBs on the field. They're all backed up doing all this other stuff against a team, and you're never going to see that, You're worried about dime defenses and stuff, and you're going to see 2 wing backs and a tight end every week. That's just not smart. So have your defensive system put together so that you don't have to use that statement to kids, because I'm telling you, it's going to hurt you in the end. So number 1, always be true to yourself. Number 2, find a way to create some pressure, man. Pressure kills, especially at the high school level, man. High school quarterbacks aren't used to being rushed. Now, the great ones, that's why they're great. because they handle pressure. They stay cool. You know, he's a cool customer. If you can get there with 3, you're going to win regardless of what you do. So if you're a 3-4 team and you don't have to blitz and you can drop 8, you're probably going to win anyway because you're just better. So don't get that mentality. All right, find a way to bring 4, 5, 6 guys in the soundest manner as possible. Create that pressure. Pressure burst pipes. And I guess some of you guys are saying, well, man, that hurts my offense. Yes. Okay. A lot of these things are cross categorical. You could talk about the wing T, you could talk about spread, you know, whatever it is. So understand the other thing that can kind of hurt us is that if you're good at bringing pressure from different directions. Okay, I mean, if you have one guy that's kind of that guy, it's a little bit easier for us to scheme him. You know, we can put the back over there, slide. I mean, if you want to get really complicated with it, but if you can bring pressure from all kind of different places, you got a chance of being successful. And look, when you're setting up a way to beat a team, you need to know how they protect. You know, are they a vertical slide team? You know, are we dropping straight back and letting letting all the stuff come to us? Are we turn back? You know, what is it? You know, so you understand their protection scheme and find a way to create pressure, man. It'll help you immensely. Different looks, same coverage. Okay. And here's the rubber meeting the road on this deal, because this is what I think a lot of people don't understand when they play air raid teams. Don't get cute adding all these exotic coverages. You know, we're gonna play cover 11 lock coach with this and that. I'm like, okay, I mean, are you just trying to sound smart? Because you're probably smarter than me anyway. Because guess what? While you're doing all that, my quarterback's reading grass. He doesn't care what coverage you're in per se. Okay, he's going to read grass through his progression. So if we're running shallow, he's going to read peak, shallow, dig back, no matter what. That's if you're in cover 3, cover 4, cover 2, you know, press man. You know, we're just going to find grass. Okay, I mean, and if you can play us in cover 1 or cover 0 and keep us from catching the football, you were going to beat us anyway. Okay, but you better be able to do some other stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. But air raid coaches, quarterbacks read grass. So the pre-snap is where the different looks come in, because pre-snaps are where quarterbacks and coaches tag. So if you give us one look pre-snap, we might say, okay, well, this looks like we can do this. Let's tag that. Or the quarterback might check to this. Okay, and so that's when different look, same coverages come in. So, you know, are you going to press, you know, show press and then bail at the last minute? Show bail and then creep up after the cadence starts, you know, late shifts, you know, moving from a 31 to a 13, you know, something like that in the running game if they're doing check with me runs. These are all different kinds of things that can hurt air raid teams and other teams too. A lot of secrets today. Manage the box count. And this is another one that I think a lot of people don't realize with air raid teams. You know, we're going to box count for the run. You know, 99%, well, I ain't going to say 99%, but, you know, a good majority of air raid coaches box count. Okay. So they're going to say, okay, if you give me a 5-man box, we're going to check to the run because we got 6 guys, you know, 7 if you count the quarterback. So you got to find a way to manage the box and try to keep a +1 whenever possible. You know, if that means rolling down into a single high safety look, pre-snap or whatever, or just coming out and showing it. You know, if you're going to sit up there and too high and then give us a nice box, we're probably going to run the ball more than you think. And that's the thing that you got to understand. A lot of guys joke all the time, but a good air raid team will run the ball if you give them the numbers. Okay, it's just sound football. Okay, we love to throw the ball. We want to spin it to win, but we'll grind the ride too. Okay, I mean, I had 195 yards on 25 carries in the first round of the playoffs one year. You know, they just kept giving us a 5-man box, so it was like, hey, we're going to take care of it, and so that was our thing, and so you have to find a way to manage that box count. And just understand this: I don't care who you're playing. If you don't stop the run, you're probably going to lose most of the time. Okay, so you know, football has always been about blocking and tackling. You got to stop the run and you got to make your tackles. Very, very important. All right, so the last one, fundamentals. Very, very important on that. Okay, alignment, assignment, production. Talk to your kids about that. Get lined up right. Know your job. Tackle well. Yak is like Red Bull for air raid teams. Okay, if we catch that ball and we can keep scooting on, why do you think we like shallow so much? Why do you think we like crossing routes and things like that, so we can catch it on the move and keep running. All right, so yak is like Red Bull, so you have to tackle well. Don't make mistakes when possible, and give us an opportunity and put us behind the chains by doing those kind of things. And so instead of using that time that you would put all the new coverages in and all this other stuff to stop a team that runs something different to you, focus on your fundamentals and be true to yourself. I think you'll see the benefits of that, and that's why it's one of my 5 keys to stopping the air raid offense. All right, so what are your 5 keys? I mean, like I said, it wasn't really a lot of ground breaking stuff. Down in the comments, let me know what you think are your keys for stopping the air raid. Some things that maybe you might do differently or that you've done that's really worked for you. I'd love to hear about that. Hey, are you a member of the channel? Because we have a channel membership now. So for $1.99 a month, you can join the channel, get your special badge for when you make comments, and we're going to start putting a little bit more member-only content up there too. So it'll be some special videos that members only get and stuff like that. So let me jump in on this real quick. Hey, if you make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, like the video, do all that good stuff for me, and I really appreciate that. Now for the big announcement. Coming on July the 13th, we will be releasing the Head Coach Primer, our guide to becoming and succeeding as a high school head football coach. And it's only going to be available on CoachTube. I've been working really hard to design this new course, really excited. It actually came from one of you guys. The idea came from one of you guys off of my first 30-day head coach video. He said, yo, coach, you should make a course out of that. And I thought about it, and I said, that's a great idea. So I'm going to do that. It's going to release on July the 13th over on CoachTube.com. Make sure you check it. Once again, guys, make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's a couple of videos next year you might want to check out. I'll see you next time, and spin it to win.